on the boundary. Premiership winning captain with the Sydney Swans, and a couple of superstar. In fact, there's 3 superstar forwards with us today: Lynch, Dunstall and Hall. So let's hope the big guns for both teams can fire up forward. Matthew Pavlich had a forgettable game last week as they lost, and now the ruck battle begins, and Sandilands clearly got the height dominance as he has over everybody with Nichols, and gets it to ground, but Hallahan giving Gold Coast, and it is a talented, if tall forward line that Gold Coast Suns have, so conditions not necessarily suiting them 100%.
Well, the first surprise for me, Lynchy, is Trent McKenzie gets the job on Matty Pavlich. That's unexpected.
Very unusual. You would have thought maybe Shade might have been the one to go there, or Leslie, but they're going to try to expose the run-off deep defence from McKenzie.
Luke Russell falls into the back of Daniel Pearce. First free kick of the game. Uses Garrick Ibbotson on the way out.
This is something they didn't do very well last week. They've run from deep defence. They weren't able to switch the ball from one side to the other, then run into clear air. Something they'll be looking to get up and going again today.
And that was young Alex Pearce. We saw the 20-year-old, as Ross mentions, had a few came in and then out of the side with a little bit of injury.
Showed plenty in those first couple of weeks when he came in, and 6'6", 200 centimetres. A very athletic young man.
And very quickly they try to stretch the Suns' defence. Aaron Sandlands pushes forward as Jack Hanneth goes into the ruck.
So here he is, the big number 38, to contend with Nichols. And he's done okay this year. Well, Nichols has certainly improved, but Sandlands has pushed forward and had a little bit more effect than in previous years in terms of being able to take a good mark.
The Sandlands be picked up by young Leslie, comes back into the side today. So he's certainly got his hands full.
He's only produced 3 goals, but he's taken a lot more marks than previously in that forward half in one-on-one contests. So that looks like that's going to be part of the plan for Freo today. Pearce, you see the conditions have played a part already, and difficult to move the ball quickly and cleanly. Barlow getting forced back, Spur, and then Pearce. And now they can stretch across through Tommy Sheridan. Now on that last line, getting nervous, Sutcliffe. Oh, he's been pinged.
Well, I think that's what Rodney Eade will be wrapped with. They've held the ball in their defensive half. And Andrew Rains, with his pressure, we know he brings pressure. He's probably lost a yard in speed over the last few years, but that's great start to the game. Great pressure, and it's going to result in a goal, I'm sure.
Well, no need to panic here. He just needs to take his time. He can go with any kick he likes. He'll probably go around the corner, or he can just take a step out and kick a drop punt, whatever he's comfortable with. Just needs to take his time, think his way through it.
And he does just that. And Gold Coast get the first goal.
Terrific start. We know they're going to be down a little on quality, particularly when you match up the class of the 2 lineups. But the one thing they can't be second at today, the Gold Coast Suns, is effort. Effort, intensity, desperation has to be there.
Was that really holding the ball?
A technical decision, wasn't it?
I mean, the ball just slipped out of his hands, didn't it?
Yeah, it was before the Rains tackle, so I think the Suns might have been gifted one there, but they'll certainly take it.
Not sure what Ross was more bemused about, the way his team handled it, or the decision there.
Yeah, it'll be both, I would have thought. The way they've struggled to get out of their back half in the first few minutes.
Sandilands tries everything to get over him, Nichols, but some of his ruck work last week was extraordinary, and it sends them forward here. Pressure from Clay Cameron. He certainly felt it from around. Leslie got involved as well with the spoil.
Do you think that Rains is going to Lockie Neal, Lynchy? You thought he might have gone to one of the more celebrated midfielders?
Maybe they think it's more achievable to actually successfully tag him. As Matera was close to being out on the full.
It looks like Riscatelli and Fife at the moment.
It might have been Rocket sick of seeing Neal run around by himself and racking up massive numbers, so we'll try to lock down on one.
So the ball on its way back in. Again, Nichols wins the little wrestle that time. Clancy Pearce has been an excellent contributor for them this year. Barlow in his 100th takes them to half forward, and that's a terrific mark under severe duress, so the little man can jump up and take the mark despite the pressure from Rains and co. And there's a drilling pass from Mundy onto the chest of Michael Walters.
There's a dart going through to Walters and took it on the chest. As you saw, Adam Saad just a bit sore getting up from that contest. New link from the ground as Walters looks for an option inside.
He's moving okay. Let's hope there's not another injury issue for the Gold Coast Suns. He has been one of their bright sparks this year. Lonergan replaces him. So Michael Walters now to shoot. 18-11 to his name, and that's not going to add to either. Oh, yeah, out on the full. Not going to add to either his goals or his behind tally.
Never comfortable over that. And just have a look at the clash of heads here. Saad comes down.
Just clashing to the ground, I think, by the look of it.
Yeah, he might have just hit the back of the head in that contest.
Clancy Pearce trying to defy Lonergan and Lynch. Pearce at the back. Zungo Hill a couple of times. Just guided that ball. And Sandler's picked up well. Charlie Dixon, his first real involvement, made sure it was a solid one. And now Nat Fife tries to slide through, but he can't.
High fend.
That's a great tackle.
And it was a great tackle, exactly right. I've been super impressed with the first 5 minutes from the Suns. Their commitment to tackling and putting pressure on has been first class.
And that's all you can ask from a coaching point of view when you're severely undermanned. Bring the effort. The results may happen as a byproduct, but at least you can hang your hat on the effort here. And certainly Charlie Dixon was a great attack at the ball. Riscatelli as well.
A couple of big early wins for the Gold Coast Suns. The goal and stopping Fife in his tracks.
And another win. Adam Saad back on the ground. Got the thumbs up from the doctor. It's good news.
It is, as Kolodjasny sends them back to the wing. This ball from Lynch, well read by Hanneth. Off the pack, Spur gives it as much as he can, but there's all the Suns at half back. And Kolodjasny, who Rocket D talked about, leading their defence despite being such a young man, at just 19 years of age with only 29 games experience.
Well, he got a second opportunity after butchering the first kick where he kicked an outnumbered situation. So they've just got to look, they'll try and play a little slower than normal, and they'll try and just maintain a bit of ball possession.
Trying that now. Saad dabs it back and gets his man in the back pocket, Cameron, but
that's where they started a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? I suppose it's one thing maintaining possession, but you've eventually got to try and get out of there. Harbrow goes long to a one-on-one, and the more experienced and stronger Lynch is able to take it. Whips the handball in board. They've just stayed ahead of the game with Russell and Lemons. The next one is some trouble from Kolodjasny. Pearce steals it and then looks for support. He goes all the way back to Sutcliffe. Freo just second-guessing a little bit here, which is good to see from a Suns' point of view. That means their pressure is starting to make them just think a couple of times. High ball inside from Sheridan. Crozier's buzzing around, so is Ballantyne. They've got this small man on the job. Here's Lockie Neal. Blasts away, it's coming back, and there's the first for Fremantle. Wasn't the most convincing of shots, but it's a goal.
There hasn't been anything convincing about Fremantle's first 5 minutes of this game. The issue there was the long ball came in towards Sandilands. There was a good defensive spoil. I think it was Harbrow jumped up, get the ball to ground, but they had they outnumbered the Suns here in the front of the pack, and certainly Lockie Neal, bit of class around the body. So that was a really good goal on the back of some great effort from the Suns, but they just weren't clean enough and didn't have the space to run out off half back. Well held up by Fremantle.
So a goal each. It's been an excellent start by the Suns, despite the fact that Freo were able to somehow put together a goal there.
Suns have gone +1 in their defence, so the extra is across half back.
Nichols is able to guide. Boston ends up with it, and then you see it comes to Harbrow from Saad, driving to half forward. There's Peter Wright flying, and he gets another touch as the ball dribbles over the boundary line and out of bounds.
They've gone very big in their forward half with Dixon, Lynch, Wright, all around the 200 centimetres. So they're going to have to take the marks in the air, because if they the ball hits the ground, they could be vulnerable running the other way.
Yeah, well, Gary Gibbonson has really grown into that third tools role in defence this season, and he gives a lot of rebound and run when the ball does hit the deck.
And they need to be able to put the pressure on these defenders, don't they, on the way out? We saw them succumb, which created the first goal. Here's Spur, and he goes to a one-on-one, and that's well, it's a feather in the cap of the Suns, but that was the only option available to him. He felt short to a one-on-one, and the ball goes over the line.
Yeah, great spoil from Clay Cameron. Yeah. Just good closing speed on Walters to get the fist in.
So Nichols coming from the ground and Wright going into the ruck. Just had the 5 disposals, but kicked a goal last week on debut, Peter Wright. Monday, he eased that around the corner, but it was either the boundary line or out on the full, and
I think he's cost himself a kick there to Miller with that one. Just got a hand on it before it went out in the full.
And it was a good result for Fremantle. Hanneth takes position. Wright comes at him and gets the tap down, but Mzungu was there to shark it. Fife goes to ground, flicked it out. The scramble is on Lemons. And now ball up. Pav and Taverner, as we mentioned, Pavlich and McKenzie is the matchup. As a spare back, Kolodjasny will probably come into play here, although the ball put into the pocket for Pavlich, and he very nearly took it. Had a bit of a forgetful night on the marking front last week, didn't he, Pav?
He did. A lot of them were like that. A lot of them he got the hands to. He was in position, but they just didn't stick. So he'll be looking to have a serious scoreboard impact today.
The greasy conditions have followed Fremantle a little bit in the last 3 weeks. Certainly against Adelaide there was lots of rain. Last week it was more dew. There's a terrific work by Pavlich to set it up. Walters back with the flight. They had the extra number there, did Fremantle, but weren't able to capitalise. Rains, bit of a dodgy handball. Saad though was on guard and clears it away and gets the Gold Coast Suns fans to cheer and yell at it. And they do some more encouraging play by their defenders to get it out of bounds.
Just to reinforce your point, Jace, Pavlich has only taken 5 marks in the last 3 games. So it's not a big total from a man that's who'll go down as one of the greats in the AFL, but just not marking the ball at the moment.
Lynch did some ruck work. There's an injury issue for Gold Coast in defence, which we'll get to in a moment. As the ball is brought in low by Sheridan. Zungu with the switch. This opens things up for Spur. He wanted to get back onto the right boot. Dab the pass, not 50. Oh, Pav takes a ripping mark and the umpire doesn't pay us.
He hasn't got one.
Harbrow tries to wind his way out. Wasn't the best of handballs, but there were some options on, some good resources used. Miller, and the next one crucial. Matera can take it and go. Lynch was get to the right spot, but the kick didn't ever reach him.
It's a really, really poor kick. He had time to look, and he just berates himself as he comes to pick up a defensive role now. But he had to give that air to allow Lynch to get there.
Mundy wanted a short, but the instructions were go long and high down the line because Big Sanderlands will... In the meantime, huge leap from Leslie. He was ready for a screamer there. Couldn't drag it down. That was touched by the boundary umpire on the way out, but of course it's still out on the full.
It's just the end of that previous play.
No, it's coming back. Sorry, Lynch, in the back.
No, in the back free kick. That's a bonus. Just the end of that previous play, Charlie Dixon went straight over the top of Mundy. Just a bit of an investment later in the day, and it's Stanley gone off.
Danny Stanley's the one that's gone off. You'll see he's got some strapping on his right leg between the knee and the ankle, and he's very much favouring the right leg as he came off.
Luke Russell bombs away. Not sure about the tactics. Or Matera goes for a ripper, and unfortunately,
even using his hands, he couldn't get up high enough to spoil Sanderlands. He just got into his back.
He got it back to his waist. Free handball. Comes away to Ibbotson, who can chip into the middle. There's open space for Spur. And Pavlich this time. Has it got it well enough weighted? Not quite. Lynch trying to, and McKenzie trying to hassle him all the way to the line, but he gets himself clear, and then he just had to release it at the last moment. He fought on. He kept his wits about him at least. Walters, and he might know, he still doesn't get it. So persistent efforts rewarded for the Suns. Well done, Cameron. It's just not working, coming together for Pav.
No, he's working hard for it too, Pav. He's desperate to get on the board. Thought he was going to get an opportunity, but credit to the Suns' defence. It stood tall, stood firm.
Boston takes the mark.
You could not complain about the work rate for the Suns at the moment. They're working extremely hard. Great to see Saad involved again. Clay Cameron with 105 kilos running at you, stayed on his line.
Terrific mark from Peter Wright. We'll get to Barry with some injury news in a moment. She swings it inboard. Hallahan, the builder's on again. Rains, and just making a little bit of space for Boston. Goes to Trusty's left boot down to Matera again. He's outsized. Mzungu, the extra number arriving just in time. Terrific tackle by Matera. Let's get down to you, Baz.
Yeah, terrible news down here. Danny Stanley's been subbed out of the game. The injury toll just continues for the Gold Coast Suns, but Nick Malczewski's been subbed into the game.
All right, the ice going on the knee, I think, by the look of that.
That is a huge blow for the Suns and Danny Stanley.
And also for Nick Malczewski, who I don't think was planning on playing a full game.
Well, they're hoping at worst to give him 2.5 quarters.
Yes, well, the best laid plans.
And they haven't put him on yet. They're just going to really warm him up.
So the Dockers by 1. 14 minutes into this opening term. We're, as you can see, just about at the halfway stage of the first quarter. Clancy Pearce tried to use McFarlane. Hill looking for a way out of there. Mzungu he settles on. Tough for Walters. Here's Taberner. Not the ideal conditions for him, but opportunity against a young defence perhaps to thrive. Boston angled it into the 50. And there's McFarlane. Still marking superbly after all these years. He's committed to playing on.
That's not 15, no.
Might work to there. No, he doesn't handball to Mzungu, who was on for him. Instead, just stayed composed and waited for something else to materialise. That was Pearce. From Alex across to the other Pearce in Clancy Pearce.
They've actually blocked that far side pretty well, the Suns. I mean, they had the extra number for you. You thought they may have got the overlap, but well done to some of the youngsters in the midfield for the Suns to block it out.
Coming back to try this side. Needs a good kick, and it doesn't quite materialise for Mzungu, and that gives some numbers for the Suns. Lynch, Malcheski was not in any position to receive the ball at all.
Yeah, but he had a loose player outside of him, Tom Lynch. He had to look to see if the inside option was on, rather than just giving it instinctively.
Fife somehow got out of there. Still not sure how he did it. Mundy being hassled was legged.
But at least that's good pressure, good harassment, and they're holding him up again.
Stops the ball.
Just have a look at this. He's got a player there. You can see Wright all on his own. He gives without looking.
You would hope there wasn't a call from Malcheski, though.
I'm sure there was.
Ibbotson, now Hill. In fact, it's Sheridan again. Been prominent so far. They've all had to get involved with Fremantle defence because of the pressure being applied by the Suns. Clancy Pearce. To that point, Lee Spurs had 7 disposals. Ibbotson 6. Alex Pearce has had 6. McFarlane getting plenty of it too.
I like the way they're slowing them up, though.
And Sutcliffe, yeah, I mean, they're not pulling the trigger, Fremantle, but again, it's plaudits for the Suns. Now the kick comes in, and Crozier needs to do a fair bit here, and he did. His turn was impressive, but then he just lost a handle on it. After Daniel Pearce, Sandilands comes in, and I think that might have scomed him.
It did.
And good contest from Tom Nichols. And on the far side, I think it was Cameron involved again. And a pretty strong tackle from Malcheski over on the far side as well. Yep, a little bit of a falcon off Sandilands.
Nichols and Sandilands out the back. The call from Fife. Tried to flick it out to Mundy. Russell gets the round to the kitchen from Pearce. Was perhaps a little lucky not to be penalised.
All very lucky.
Given plenty of time, wasn't he?
Perhaps very lucky not to be penalised. It ends up with Pearce after the setup. Hill with Harbrow. 2 talented players there. And well done, Harbrow.
Great work, and we'll just see inside 50 count 7-4 in favour of the Fremantle Dockers, but they're weathering the storm at the moment, the Suns. Just the experience off half back to deliver the ball is obviously what's missing.
Ball falling a bit short. Sandilands didn't grab it down to Ballantyne. It's his full body on the line. Clearing kick from Cameron. Still out of the 50. Lynch commanding effort in the air but didn't mark it. Miller. Oh, both players really committed. A bit to look at the replay of that one for any infraction. Pearce to Mundy again, who was under duress. Sheridan just slapped it onto the boot.
Suns player down.
Yeah, that was on the back of Alex Pearce's attack on the ball for the youngster in game 3. Great attack.
Trapped by Ibbotson. Had some numbers to work with inboard. Oh, fumble from Sutcliffe. Does he go with it? He does. Straight through the hands. Butterfingers Pearce there. He's able to retrieve it, though, pretty well. It is slippery, isn't it? Spur back to the middle, and McFarlane, same fate. They need to get the ball through for a goal so they can change the ball at the moment. Miller, brilliant start for the Suns. Persistence almost paid off. Boston chanced his arm. He decided to set it up in front of range, but Neil was onto him. And back it goes. Down to you, Baz. Is it actually still raining at the moment?
Yeah, it's drizzling, Hutto, so conditions are going to get worse before they get better. It's getting really slippery out there.
Through the middle again, and this time I think Daniel Pearce taking a bit more care with a chest mark to make sure that the ball wasn't getting out. So can Big Sandilands take a grab? No is the answer to that immediately. Malcheski, Sard, and the running's good. Lynch. Oh, you don't need your teammate accidentally smothering it.
Jasny.
Yeah. Here's Fife trying to wade his way through. He got halfway there and then was able to pass it off. That's a good-looking short pass.
Fife's hurt. Very slow getting up. Hopefully just a bit of a whack around the chops.
He's copped one in the head by the looks of it. Just copped a whack.
So that's probably good news from a Freo point of view.
probably good news from a Gold Coast point of view too. He's been whacked. Got to stop him somehow. That's obviously not the way they mean to do it. But Taberner is lining up for goal. In fact, it's Hanneth who's lining up for goal, the big man. Big number 38, Jack Hanneth. He's kicked 7 goals, 2 in his 15 games, so that one's gone across the face for a behind. So they're certainly not capitalising at the moment, the Dockers.
He's staying out there 5, so that's the good news. He's shaking it off. Just have a look here. He gets involved in a couple of tackles. Didn't look to be that much in it.
Might have just Tom Lynch as they go on the ground. Might have just copied him.
So again, the short stuff from the Gold Coast Suns. Malcheski takes the mark.
I reckon there'd be different reactions in the coaches' boxes right now. I think Rodney here to be thrilled with the effort and the contested play that the Suns have been involved in thus far, and Ross Lyon probably not happy.
Again, Pam. Oh, this time he marks it. He had to because there was 4 Suns sweating on it.
And he's in range.
That was a really good double grabber. Just knocked the first one out the front.
Parried it, didn't he?
And that's the thing with the wet, slippery ball. You can't always think you're going to take it first up. Keep the ball in front, get a second or third chance, and take it into your chest.
Kicked his 650th goal a couple of weeks ago, just 2 behinds last week. 21-13 for the year. He too misses away to the right. In fact, may not even score. It's out of bounds. They've had some chances, even though they haven't been easy chances.
He didn't make good contact with that one. Got very close to the man on the mark.
You just feel they've been outworked at the moment. I think a little close-up of Ross Lyon at quarter time might be interesting. I think this young, undermanned Suns is showing them how to work at the moment.
Hallahan did well under the circumstances. Nichols has to follow up. Russell.
It's interesting watching the Dockers. They make sure they rotate all their players. So all their key defenders they've rotated off at the moment, which means Taberner's had to go to full-back to play on Charlie Dixon.
He'll have to get involved right now. He's got good support, though. Sutcliffe coming across the top of the pack and had to make a decision as whether to keep it in to Sheridan, who wanted desperately to handball. In the end, he decides to kick. They certainly don't have equal numbers there. Pavel make a good contest. Good fist from Leslie. And close to being out of bounds. Lynch decides to keep it in. Rains. Now the numbers are definitely with Fremantle. Hanneth decides to spoil. Interesting, given there was 5 Freo players and 2 Suns.
We've seen Tom Lynch over the last couple of weeks spend a fair bit of time across half-back and has worked into some nice form, especially across that half-back line. He's spending a bit of time there now as he pushes back to centre-half forward, but with the ball spending the majority of the time in the forward half of Freo, that's where Lynch is going.
Nichols grabbed it out of the ruck, then wasn't sure what to do with it next. Made a pretty good decision. Here's Taberner on guard in defence. Now Fife. Oh, brilliant hunt down from Lemons and could have been rewarded.
Dropping.
And so could that. So the umpire giving them a bit of latitude. Sutcliffe back to Taberner. Tricky bounce for Nichols. Well handled by Hill and then Crozier. It's just hard, this tight little handball stuff. You can just see how difficult and greasy the ball is to control. If anything, the Suns are doing it better.
Yeah, good quick hands.
Riscatelli to Lynch. Genuine one-on-one. Was he dragged down by the arm by Pearce? There's a question worth asking. Lemons, and that's a well-placed kick. Kolodjasny's come all the way down from defence to take that mark.
Well, he tried to kick it around the corner. It turned into an instep tool, but it carried about 50 metres. So it got over the top of all the players that were back there, and Kolodjasny drifting forward. This is a really good opportunity to hit the lead again and put more scoreboard pressure on the Dockers.
You said earlier, by foot, Kolodjasny hasn't been overly clean over the last few weeks, but can he convert a rare opportunity forward?
1 goal, 1 for the season. Beautifully struck. And what a fine start this is by the Suns.
Just to start, a young undermanned side needed.
Yep.
They've got off to a flyer, so the coaching staff would be happy and the young players feel like they're in the game. Here's the centering kick. As you said, instep barrels sailed the 50 metres, and Kolodjasny had worked hard off half-back, was able to run into that space and take a pretty easy chest mark in the end. And importantly, converted to take the Suns to a 4-point lead, which is really impressive, very important for their morale at this stage of the game.
Gutsy stuff this by the Gold Coast Suns. They lead by 4. They've got some confidence. Nichols down to Boston. Out of the middle. Flicked it to Sard. He had to watch out. Released it quick enough. Miller, that was too quick. It went to Mundy and then to Pavlich. Things open up. And unfortunately, Walters was on his own.
Yeah, Lonergan slipped over Walters' man.
He runs around quickly. Doesn't make the contact he would have liked. High ball. He got the man for the high one was Sandilands. Crozier. Barlow tried to come through, got a bit of a shove. And there's big Sandilands again, and it's out of bounds.
And that's Sandilands' biggest asset, even if he doesn't mark the ball. He turned a 2-in-1 into an advantage for Freo. He got the ball down to the front and didn't quite generate a shot at goal, but very predictable. Just got to get the ball to the front, and your forwards will be happy.
So many numbers around this throw-in. Nichols and Sandilands do their thing. Rains did enough to Sard, to Leslie, really put under the pump. Walters desperate to find a way out. Barlow braced himself for the contact. It came. And he might just be pinged if the ball hasn't got out of there.
Gee, they're doing well, the Gold Coast Suns. When you consider Fremantle have had 40 more possessions and double the inside 50s, 12-6 in this term, holding up very well defensively, the Suns.
Again, a great tap by Sandilands. Pearce couldn't capitalise in the conditions. And Hallahan feels the force of a Mzungu tackle. It's another ball up.
Hallahan is becoming an important player with the stocks certainly decimated in the midfield. Hallahan to spend his career at Hawthorn. Very handy inclusion.
You just can't get it together there. And again, the ball's coming out through Kolajasny, but well positioned Ibbotson.
Yeah, just Charlie Dixon probably that 5 or 10 metres too far back. He had to get closer to the spare.
Again, he rolls the dice to the height of Sandilands. Not quite. His follow-up work was good, just shoveled it out. Darting through Lemons. Gained some more territory. Well done, Pearce. He knew where the ball was, knew where his opponent was. Pavlich couldn't do much with it, though. Is this Tabernar? Does he go for territory or try and control it? He tries the latter. See if they can sort something out. McFarlane. Not a lot on for Spur on the outer side.
What is happening? The Suns are getting big numbers to the contest. We saw that last scrimmage, they had all the numbers on the inside. So Freo can hurt them on the outside if they get it out quickly. But certainly there's direction to get numbers at the ball.
Needed some precision skills there. And again, they come up short. Tabernar bundles it forward as things fell Fremantle's way a little. Hill over the top. Fife trying desperately to get involved, but hasn't had a big effect so far, Nat Fife.
What they have got at the moment, Gold Coast, is they've got the game they want. They want a scrappy, contested affair, and they're doing it very, very well. The test comes as the game develops, whether they can maintain this intensity over the 4 quarters.
Well, that is the huge question, and you would think the intensity from such a young team would drop off as the game goes on, but that's the challenge.
Rocket looks like he's thriving on it. Quick kick in from Sandilands. Maybe a little fortuitous, but get it in there enough, and that's going to happen. Crozier to line them up.
The thing with Rodney Eade that we just saw in the box there, Hutto, is if they maintain this sort of effort, he then has a few options to do some things, as opposed to just shuffling the deck chairs, trying to fill every hole in the dike that bursts. You know, he's actually got his team in the contest. Now he can try and be attacking on different occasions.
Well, they found it difficult at this end, Fremantle, to score goals. They've only scored 1. They've had a number of shots at goal. Hayden Crozier from outside the 50 is going to end up with the same result. And that is a behind. So at the end of the first quarter, Gold Coast are in front. The Suns, the rank outsiders in the wet at Carrara, have turned on a beauty in the first term, and they lead by 3. Bottom of the
clearances and get it down there quickly. So
harder to do though
in these conditions. Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the stars that are still watching on, I think Lynchian, after the break, they're expecting to get maybe 7 or 8, 9 of those players back.
Yeah, it's like going to the draft mid-season and just loading up.
Sandilands down to Mundy. Lockie Neal climbed to his feet. Got them straight to Tabernar at centre half forward and beyond with Pavlich. Can he guide it to Tabernar? Good work, Shade. Still hassling him, and Leslie. Of course, May came back and looked really good, but unfortunately he's out injured as well. I would love to have had him in the team today.
I've got to say they've been committed, the back six for the Gold Coast. Even that time when it went forward, their capacity to be right on their man, to tackle, harass, and just make sure there's no easy possessions has been first class.
Yeah, the work rate of their spare down back, who at times has been Jasny. Boston's been down there as well. So the spare needs to be really mobile to put the pressure on any forwards that get away. So they've done that well.
Harborough for Riscatelli. Mundy a shove.
And those sort of half decisions are going in the way of the Suns. And I mean, the intent and the intensity was typified by the Andrew Rains free kick. Probably a little lucky in the goal square at the start of the first quarter, but that really set the standard for the intensity of this team.
Rain continues to tumble. Hill.
Another good tackle.
Miller. To right. Went for the handball. I don't think Lemons was expecting it. Boston's able to gain another 30 or 40 metres. And McFarlane, who's played in all sorts of conditions over his terrific long career, is able to drift in and take the mark. Game number 247 for Luke McFarlane.
That rain just starts to intensify. It's a heavy mist. It's starting to come in now.
That's the kick they want, back into the corridor.
And that's, again, to reinforce what you said before, that's to drag up the defenders, just to allow some space over the back. So the 35, 40-metre pass to hit the target to then drag the defence out from the Suns.
Mundy goes to the wing. Mzungu stayed the journey through there, and then he went crashing into a brick wall.
Great tackle, Cameron.
Hasn't he been committed, Cameron, so far?
Cameron's been really good as a third tall back.
Advantage invoked, and look at this opportunity here for Riscatelli. What can he do with it? Does he go for goal? No, he went somewhere in between. There was a bit going on with Dixon, and Hill was able to sneak in and take the mark.
Charlie Dixon's giving McFarlane a bit of a backhander too. Just a little warning from the umpire. Probably can't. Oh, it's 50. Yeah, well, you definitely can't give your opponent a whack behind the ear.
Just a little reminder clip to stay out of the way.
Yeah, just a bit of an investment in the future, I think, from Charlie.
If you're in the area, you're going to cop it.
You're going to get a clip.
So Stephen Hill just dabs it for Pearce.
So it opens up the ground. If they can hit this kick into the middle corridor, into the centre square, then they can go long and straight. They can go wide either side. It makes it harder for the Gold Coast Suns to defend.
Oh, back into the middle, though. It was fraught with danger. Hill has to come hard. Well, clever play by Wright. For a young man, I just like the look of, I mean, he's a high pick, but just some of the little things Wright's done has been excellent. Sutcliffe up and down on the spot. And hard to get out of there.
It's a bit similar to last week against Richmond, Freo, just not hitting those targets. I mean, they're not a team that really moves the ball quickly from deep defence, but they're pretty precise in the way they do move it. So when they go in, they often score, but not today, or last week.
Sutcliffe back to the wing. Ballantyne started behind. Well done by Sard. Goes back to try and win it, but Taberner was cleaner. Still ends up with shade, and it ends up, importantly, in Gold Coast hands. Russell. And that's where it ends. Ibbotson. Marked at half back, but they're preserving this 3-point lead at the moment. Barlow. Now prepared to go back and switch.
I think they need to open up the ground and try to open up the corridor so they, again, can use that 35-metre pass. They've been caught out numerous times bombing long and turning the ball over.
They've been getting this quarter, they've been getting to half back, haven't they? And even got the odd pass into the shallow end of the corridor, but not much further than here. So let's have a look how they advance. Sutcliffe. Pavlich in the frame, couldn't quite drag it down. Again, the conditions a factor. Nichols served it out to Boston, and this is Harbrow to the wing. Miller over his head. The next come off the line, and Spur knew he was going to be tackled and adjusted well. Got some high contact. Collective groan around Metricon Stadium. Another injury issue for the Suns. Sard getting some treatment. Get Baz on the job there. Kick comes Pavlich's way.
Good kick, good pass.
And that's the 35, 40-metre pass they need to do.
So if they got it out over the back here, Hannif, can they knock it into space if they can't mark? Not yet. Well done, Suns. Taberner. And Samiga Docker's waiting. And there's one of them, Pearce. Flicked it out. Now Nat Fife. Can he change things up? Knocked away on the line. Well done. But both players, really. Good scrap for the ball. Sandilands almost kept it alive.
Well done, Leslie. Again, working hard. very inexperienced defence to see Adam Sard getting that elbow strapped up.
Well, it looks to be the left wrist.
Okay.
Richie, it's been strapped before, so maybe it's a recurrent injury.
They're calling for holding the ball, and they're going to get it here.
They're the ones you can't afford, not your defensive 50.
Not when you work so hard to stop the clean possession. One of those free kicks 15 out. See, just the wrist and the forearm strapped for Adam Sard, as Luke Russell was about to get the thumb restrapped, but had to go back out on the ground.
So Lockie Neal, who has kicked their only goal so far, looking to add another to that total. The rain continues to come down here at Metricon. No kicks of certainty, but that one's missed.
Now they're getting to the stage now where they need to get some reward for effort. They've had 16 inside 50s for just 1 goal for, as we take a look at Adam Sard coming in here. Just falls on that right wrist and then sticks the left one out to try and tackle and probably pops the leg coming through.
Mzungu rushed it to half forward. Hallahan rounds it up. Back to the wing, hoping for Wright. Went through Hill. Bypassed Fife as well, but he's found a way to get back onto it. And he's trying to get out of there. He does. Mundy.
Charlie again just cutting that Fife little high.
And that's not a bad one to give because it didn't cost them anything.
No, it's not too bad at all.
Sheridan pumps it in there. Pavlich looks likely to mark this one. Looks like he might have just found his marking range.
Oh, Trent McKenzie got lost. I don't know. He ran off and he started attacking the kick. And the kick went over his head to his man. So I'm not quite sure how he misjudged that or what he was thinking. But that was just poor judgment.
What do you think of the matchup, boys?
Well, so you could say it's worked so far, but it's going to be a big challenge for him.
Well, the idea is to expose him the other way. McKenzie to use the ball on the spread and expose Pav.
McKenzie hasn't touched it.
Yeah, and he hasn't been looking to run off either.
So Pavlich, can he find it?
Missed.
No, he's missed as well.
So it becomes contagious when you start missing like this.
And it just takes that nail out of the coffin, which is, there's no lid being put on yet for the Suns, that's for sure, because they lead. But just it can be energy sapping if you're continually going in and score goals from an opposition point of view. But at the moment, working nicely for the Suns.
17 entries for 1 goal.
So McKenzie just the 1 possession for the Gold Coast Suns, and Ballantyne. Sorry, McKenzie no possessions, and Ballantyne just the 1 possession for the Dockers.
Busy intersection out there on the wing. Mzungu looking to get involved. He's had limited opportunities at senior level this year. Sutcliffe, Barlow, Mundy. And the ball not quite marked close to the line again. There's high contact.
Henry Shade, after 5 years on the list, finally gets his chance this season. He's made a pretty good fist of it as well.
Mundy going all the way back to Sutcliffe and then into Mzungu. Just his 2nd game for the season. Fife, can he hit a target at centre half forward? Little Crozier had to leap high. Ballantyne came through, didn't give away the free, despite the protests of the crowd. That's not great service for Malcheski. Pearce just pushed him at a critical moment. And the ball is out of bounds. It shows a bit of care to make sure that he's all right after pushing him, sliding across the outfield. And he looks like he's battling a little bit, Nick Malcheski.
Good shove, isn't it, in the wet conditions? He's got no chance of pulling up.
And sorry about that.
Fife, clever adjustment. Mzungu to full forward. Well placed back there is Leslie. He's going to be caught. He knew it. He handballed it.
It's a knee.
And that's finally through, but high contact paid. I think it's advantage. It's a goal.
Just under enormous pressure, the game has been played well and truly over the last 10 minutes in the forward half for the Fremantle Dockers. They've missed a few chances, but just now, just weighted numbers generated this one. The ball comes into a dangerous position and just in the drizzly conditions weren't clean getting it back. Leslie's fumbled and then a really nice snap around the body from Crozier. And that's just what Fremantle needed to stretch the lead out to 5 points now.
Kicked a couple of goals last week, so he's got to make the most of his opportunities. Hayden Crozier battling for a place in this Fremantle team.
Almost gifted that one too. They don't look like scoring themselves, the Dockers. They're not playing particularly well.
Coming hard off the line is Clancy Pearce. Gets it in quickly. Walters might snaffle this one. He does.
They're certainly dominating through the midfield now, though. The ball is just continually going back in. And unlike the majority of the first quarter, the Suns just haven't been able to clear the back half.
I think what would disappoint Rodney Eade is the last couple of marks have been long kicks and chest marks taken inside the attacking 50, with players just not getting to the contest.
So Michael Walters has been gradually returning to form. 18-11 for the year. Kicked 3-3 last week. Didn't make good contact in the first quarter, but that's a better shot. It 2 fades.
Couple of posters this quarter.
2-6.
Russell Hyness a bit of a shake of the head.
Not overly impressed by all of that.
No, he's just disappointed, just not getting the reward for effort at the moment.
Malcheski. Long for Dixon. A big wind-up spoil from Charlie.
He got most of the ball.
Yeah. Sure he was too worried about that. Russell along the line, and there's a good fist. That's how you do it.
Speaking of very good spoils, that was an outstanding spoil from Sutcliffe.
So we're down just about to the halfway point of this second term. Fremantle's lead is now 6 points. They're doing it by stealth with behinds as much as goals.
They got 2 extras. Pearce is by himself in this stoppage.
Free kick. Hanneth. And Suns have got 1 extra back here, although not in this actual contest, and that's an outstanding grab by Taverner.
Important. Gold Coast got numbers back quickly, and you just...
not paid. It was 5, as you said, Jace.
He was in the middle of 5 blokes who are all goal side. That would have been an extraordinary mark if he was able to take that.
Now, Kolajaz needs to spare, so he's got to use this well.
He had to rush the kick. He'd be pretty happy with the result.
I'm not sure that was the intended target, but he'll take it.
I think the only thing in the end that cost Nat 5 was maybe a little bit of self-preservation. He thought, there's a lot of traffic here that could poleaxe me. Just didn't stick on the one hand.
Good determination again. Coming hard out of defence, Cameron Sutcliffe. Seems to have just about sealed his place in this Fremantle team over the last couple of years. Played every game this year, up over the 58 game mark now. There's Sandlands finding it hard to be as dominant in the ruck this week as last week, because even if you hit it in the right place, that it's pretty hard for the midfielder to take it cleanly, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't block the third man up.
Just to follow up on that, he's 17 hit outs and 0 to advantage today.
Whereas last week he set the record for the most ever.
And they got beaten.
Ross wasn't all that impressed in the press conference.
I thought it was brilliant the way he answered
The questioning was fantastic.
Goes to half forward. Oh, that's a throat. Not picked up by the umpire. Definitely a scoop from what we could see. Now Crozier to pounce. He had a teammate up his sleeve. Barlow fashions it back for Hanneth. And we've seen a lot more of this in the second quarter than the first. Fremantle players with enough space to take chest marks.
It was unlucky Jared Hartbarrow. He knew he was going to get tackled. He somehow needed to get that ball over the boundary line rather than allow it to spill inboard, because the Dockers had the numbers to take it away. So they've just been a little better with their use going forward now, the Dockers. Yeah,
they're going at 74% by foot, whereas the Gold Coast in this quarter are 42%.
This is where they haven't been great, though.
1 goal 3 for the term.
Maybe it'll take a ruckman to kick beautifully, and it has. Great strike from Jack Hanneth.
22 inside 50s to 7 and 3-6 to 2 straight. So the Gold Coast Suns are under enormous pressure now. Good defensive work. So really nice tackle and chase. And this is a great kick around the body from the 100 gamer, Barlow. The big man finished it off. So just the weight of numbers just starting to build against the Suns at the moment. It's only a 12-point difference, but there's so many numbers going against them.
The job just got a little more difficult for the Gold Coast Suns. Fremantle finding the range a couple of times of late, and the lead out to 12 points game high. Against Sandlands, I reckon.
The worry at the moment is if this quarter is 8 inside 50s to 1 in favour of Fremantle, and that's a horrendous kick.
Peter Wright.
It needs to be better than that.
It was not a bad result in the end for the Suns when the mark was spilt, because it did give Lonergan an opportunity, which is now passed, but Fremantle maintaining control and eventually get it out of there safely enough. High ball back to the wing from Neal, and it's over and out.
So because Tom Lynch has been put behind the ball now as the extra in the air to just help spoil, nullify the couple of marks that have been taken in the forward 50 for Freo.
So young Peter Wright. Oh, that's dropped well short, that throw in. Sandland's just able to guide it down to Daniel Pearce.
Great tackle.
Yeah, an awesome tackle from Hallahan.
Well, he was about to reward the free kick.
Sorry,
Lee Fisher down there, the umpire, former St Kilda player.
Yep.
Just changed his mind.
Must have deemed that he just didn't quite have prior opportunity.
Or did he get a toenail on it as he was trying to kick it?
Don't think so. Nichols, and there's Sandland's happy to hit it in the same angle. Mundy couldn't take it with him. Nichols goes back into the fray. Sard out of it, into the open spaces. If it bounces Freo's way, they're away, and they are. Sutcliffe through the middle to centre half forward. Pavlich looming, can't take the mark. Good work, McKenzie, got the handball going. Can they make the most of it? Rains fashion some sort of kick for Boston. Sutcliffe up but out of position once he didn't take the grab. Boston goes back in hard to try and win it. Put under all sorts of duress by this Fremantle defence though. Pearce arts the back to get himself into the clear. And now Hill just on his wrong side, so has to adjust to come back onto the left. Rains knew it and was able to make the job a little tougher. Sutcliffe again getting so much of the ball, game high, 18 disposals to half forward. And the build is on again.
They have one-on-one.
Ballantyne, you heard the call. Walters, he heard it too. Tried to wind all the way through, but couldn't. Run into more Gold Coast players. Jack Leslie disposed of. And then held without it.
Well, you just thought Jack Leslie might have given away a free kick for incorrect disposal, but he's got the free. I'm sure that's the greatest handball of all time. Just Cade Cole Jasny under with nowhere to go.
Close to being a push in the back on Lemons. Not paid. Crozier. Spur. Pav has a look behind to see what was there. And tries to work his way through this, which he did with great expertise. Mundy flips it back. Hanneth to Ballantyne, keeping everyone guessing. Tried to kick a miracle goal off the left boot, and as casual as you like on the line. Michael Riscatelli.
Sloppy. He could have taken a chest mark there.
It was like he was 4 metres over the line. He sort of conceded, really.
Might just get a bit of a touch on it. Just,
But they're happy to make this a low-scoring slog for as long as they possibly can. But at some stage, you've still got to try and take an opportunity to go forward and hit the scoreboard.
It's a big block in the way, Sandilands.
Good free kick.
It wasn't much of an advantage, was it?
No, massive disadvantage, I would have thought. But this is these type of occasions, they need to be able to get into that space over the back of the defensive structure set up by McFarlane and Sutcliffe.
Close to being out on the full. Russell.
Now he's going to be forced to switch this up. He'll just go long to where he's outnumbered. Which is just not, that's just not smart football.
You kick it away from, isn't it?
Sandlands with the give to Hill. Good effort from Matera. Just put him under the pump and made Walter's job more difficult. The flow-on effect is here. Kolajasny.
That's a clever kick.
To Matera. There's a lot of Fremantle defenders getting back though, so what to do next?
Well, again, clever. Just hold it until there's an option. They've got to make this a scoring opportunity, not just bomb it to numbers.
Well, they've got plenty of time. He's not been called to play, so...
Jihad Malcheski, I thought might have been worth a crack, just given how far he can kick it. Lynch does his best. It's out of bounds. On the full.
Well.
And it's a Gold Coast kick.
Tom Lynch gets an opportunity. Just must have come off a boot.
Off a toe. Now, he's kicked a number of shots around the body from this pocket over his short career, so he'll be pretty comfortable.
13-10 for the year. He's closing in on 100 goals in his career, Tom Lynch. Hits the post.
Lucky.
Almighty groan from the crowd here.
Must look good from where he was.
Now, like the first 20 minutes of the first term, they have to keep this in their defensive half. Cause turnovers, cause stoppages.
Goes to the wing for Hanneth, the fly. Doesn't mark it, but had terrific support. Walters got the running boots on now. A bounce and a chip to his partner in crime. Ballantyne ran into Leslie, kept it alive. This is a fantastic build-up. Nothing for him long. Brings it into the middle, hoping rather than anything. And Hallahan well placed.
It was the right idea from Ballantyne. Off camera, left the screen. They had no one to kick to. It was just all Suns play, so had to go back into the corridor.
A little bit of inexperience from the Brisbane defence, though. They had to take either Ballantyne or the ball.
Yeah, I think it was Leslie
yeah.
had to take the body.
Or alternatively, he could have gone the ball.
Nat Fyfe with just 10 disposals in this game so far. At his season low, 26 last week. Not bad for a season low, is it?
That's very good. Now he's starting to work into some form. As we said, last couple of weeks, a bit behind the ball. Starting to get the hands on the marks.
17 disposals, 10 marks last week for Tom Lynch. Up to the 50. Can they capitalise on a rare opportunity? Maybe. Matera. Is this a big yes? No. Lonigan. He gets crunched. But Andrew Rains has the honours of kicking his second goal. And the Suns third. And they are up and about again.
Yeah, that was good work. A good mark. Not too many contested marks taken today, but a good one from Tom Lynch. Got it into Matera. That when he gets goal side of you, you're in a bit of strife, and he's kicked that. No doubt he's done the shot, but good work from Lonigan to get his hands free to actually get it out to Andrew Rains. And he's been important, Andrew Rains, over the last month. Through the midfield, bit of experience, and rewarded with a goal on that occasion. So that is a little bit of reward for effort going the other way. Huge discrepancy inside 50s. In this quarter, it's only been a 3 or 4 inside 50s for the Suns, but they've scored. There's plus 15 inside 50s Fremantle's way.
Suddenly a swing of momentum in this game, and they're pushing again through Harbrow. Some confidence there left behind, though. Pearce stole it away from a fumbling Lynch, and now Ballantyne to assess. Didn't have much forward for him long, so he just pops it over for Clancy Pearce. And then trying to map out a plan. Got an extra back. Sandlin's just wanted to set a half forward. I wonder if that'll be in his mind. No, it doesn't go that far. Oh, here he comes. Oh, he almost took it. Fyfe was maybe held for a little longer than is legal. Play on. Walters sold a dummy on no one there. Just got crashed into the fence almost.
He just ducked into one. So possessions this quarter plus 22 for Freo, and they're using the ball much better. They're 20% up by foot over the Gold Coast Suns.
From the throw-in, Sandlands, Fyfe again. Sardor, lucky, or well done anyway, to get boot on ball, because he might have been cooked otherwise.
Fyfe only the 4 disposals for the quarter.
Crozier doing the tackling. Ball back on its way again. Sandlands gets it down, but once more, it's the Suns able to bring it away. And Peter Wright.
He moves well for a big bloke. Saw him kick a goal on debut, and he showed some good signs.
We've got the numbers at the back here. Sheridan just on the back foot a little bit, though. Not the best of handballs for Sutcliffe, and back to Sheridan. Starting to feel it a bit. Clancy Pearce down the line. Fyfe. Sard. Outstanding reading of the play, and thumps it 55 metres. Not coming back just yet. Spur stripped of it. Next to Phil is Hill.
Well, great work from Matera and Tom Lynch. I think Tom Lynch...
That's a silly free kick to give away for high contact. They had the ball locked in. He leant on his throat. I know he's trying to be aggressive, but you've got to do it the right way.
Well, he'd already been outstanding in the way he approached that contest to get the ball to ground. Matera followed it up, but then a free kick away, costly.
I think a short pass, but it ends all right for Ballantyne. He too with aggressive frame of mind. Tried to kick it over Charlie Dixon's head, which was never likely to happen. Into the middle again. Can they capitalise here? They're in no rush to get it forward. Stretching the ground out wide. Back through the legs there of Harbrow. Eventually gets it together.
Great work from Hallahan. Pushed 70-metre lead into that far pocket to create space behind him if needed.
The margin is just 6. The Suns setting sail. Peter Wright in amongst three Docker defenders. A fumble. Miller, Riscatelli and Hill.
That was, again, like Lynch 2 minutes ago, Peter Wright got his fist into that contest, so looked like he was going to get outmarked. So as a forward, you don't always have to mark the ball to be a real asset.
Carefully guided down to 5 by Sandilands.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Free kick to Cameron. A quick kick from Hanneth. Buys a bit of time. They've got nothing out there at all, the Dockers. Shade went short and would regret that kick. And it's double-fisted over the line.
Always worry about those double fisters. Could he have marked the ball, Valentine? You'd probably think so.
I would have thought so. Suns playing +2 back at the moment.
So it's a big 45 seconds, isn't it, for the Suns? They go into half-time only a goal down. All sorts of confidence and belief will have grown since the start of the game. Sandlin's doing his own thing for a moment, but Rains for the Suns to Peter Wright. He looks right at home out here on the big stage. There's some recruiters who thought he was the best player in the draft last year, and they got him, I think, at 8.
Pick 8. Yeah, it's huge recruit. Some great raps out of the championships and under-18 competition last year.
There's always a bit of uncertainty about the tall guys, isn't there, when they go high. Fife. And the ball over and out.
They're quite often the ones that are going to take a bit of time to play legitimate senior footy.
So Fremantle have kicked a couple of goals in the quarter. The Suns with their goal stayed right in the contest. Mzungu tries to rip it away, does it to some good effect. Fife trying to work his way into this game, but again nothing dominant. And the margin remains at 6 points, and there's only 10 seconds to go.
This is enough time for a clearance and some of the class in the midfield for Freo to hit a target inside 50. They have to hang on, the Suns.
So let's see what they try and plan for. Fife starting behind this clearance. We try and run through it at some stage, but it's not getting out. So that's another win for the Suns. So we're just about at half-time.
So Rains has been going to Fife in these stoppages, and trying to lock down on him.
Thanks, Michael.
And the siren sounds, and the locals are thrilled with the effort of this young and undermanned team. They have really come to put the pressure on the top of the ladder, Fremantle Dockers. The team on top are 3-7-25. The team on the bottom, the Gold Coast Suns, are 3-1-19. It's a 6-point margin and a much better contest than anyone would have thought at half-time, Eddie.
Coast were very, very good in getting a late goal in that second term to tighten it up again.
They've put a bloke who's not bad at every spot he plays in into the forward 50 to start this third quarter.
We think he could be All-Australian wherever he wants, actually. He's had 6 clearances, but in a relatively quiet day to this stage.
He's the best in the comp at one-on-one contests up forward, so we'll see how he goes if they get it in his direction. Freo are off on a pretty wide path towards goal, and it comes unstuck fairly much straight away through Lonergan and Matera, and now Collar Jasny just eases the ball to the wing to Hallahan. And Sutcliffe certainly had a big afternoon with 19 disposals and lays his second tackle of the day.
And Shade looks like the man that's got the job on Nat Fife.
Good luck with that. Be an experience for him, one way or the other.
And what's happened is Pav's pushed up the ground, so they're leaving Fife as the deepest forward option. They want him one out in that attacking 50.
Oh, beautifully palmed down by Sandilands. Shaped the kick back. Here it is. Nat Fife got Shea where he wanted him. Pavlich, Ballantyne. Now can he gather? He's got a metre. He should be able to dictate terms. He couldn't. Well done, Sard. He closed in straight away. Then he runs into his own bit of trouble. Hanneth has one crack with a boot. Will try again, but couldn't get the second time.
That was great closing speed from Sard. As you called, Ballantyne had a metre or two, but Sard closed the gap and managed to neutralise that forward 50 entry.
He's an enthusiastic player too, Sard, isn't he? Has given them some real energy.
He's been the story of the year for the Gold Coast Suns. There's been plenty of negative publicity, but he's a huge plus.
So here's Shade as he continues to hug the boundary. And sliding mark from Lynch.
Did good body work early. Really good body work on Alex Pearce early in the contest.
Of course, no Michael Johnson. Injured early last week, which hurt them against Richmond as the game went on. Back to the wing, and again, the weight on the kick was just to the liking of Charlie Dixon. The big man hands it off to the little man, Matera.
Good kick again.
Nichols has pushed forward to give Sandlin something to think about.
Well, Freo have got the back 5 players, so they had to go short. So that's well assessed from Nichols.
Russell, they're getting closer. We had McKenzie, but a better option.
That is a great passage of play.
Tuke Miller.
From the back pocket to the forward flank with a set shot for goal with just carefully placed kicks to advantage.
And their big forwards got involved. Tom Lynch, a really good contested mark on the half-back flank, then great attack at the ball from Charlie Dixon, and Tom Nichols assessed the situation wisely.
Now it's all about capitalising for Miller and for Gold Coast. Not a lot of wind, so it's just a straight kick. Can it carry? Yes, it does. Inspirational start to this quarter.
And the work on the goal line, I think, there again from Dixon, just to hold his man McFarlane out of the road, because the kick only just went over the line. Sandilands was coming back, but Dixon did enough just to hold McFarlane out. So really good build-up, probably the most impressive offensive phase of the game for the Gold Coast Suns. And this kick, he probably kicked from 43 metres out, and Dixon just pushes his man off under the ball to hold him out, and very good.
Look at the joy that goal has produced for the Gold Coast Suns. Back within a point and really mean business Monday. You can see the urgency about Freo's work now. 5, superbly trapped.
They move Pav into the centre square to try to get him a bit more involved. He's certainly a part of that build-up and getting the ball out to Mundy, who was pushed as he kicked it, but Fife, just the strength in the one-on-one contest, took a terrific contested mark, would have got a free kick anyway.
And from 35 out, just a couple of steps straight through the middle. Quick answer from the Dockers.
Just showing P's for the contested mark up against young Henry Shade, who we spoke before. He's been on the list for quite a while, but just an inexperienced defender. Cameron, sorry, it was. And one-on-one contest just pushes off. Now we know that Fife is 190 centimetres or 6'3" in the old, but a really powerful, strong midfielder come forward and just protected the drop zone. Last minute, just eased his body over there and took an easy chest mark in the end, but all the work was done in the lead-up.
15 disposals and a goal for Nat Fife.
This is a great challenge for Clay Cameron, isn't it? Being the deepest defender one-on-one with Nat Fife.
Nichols an important touch there. Miller, they try and dig it out of the middle. Lemons to centre half forward. Riscatelli. Mundy. There's another Docker down. It might be Lemons. We'll get back to that. Sundown, I should say. Neal has just done enough. Sard. He was being rounded up. Russell, likewise. Walters. They try and work their way out of this. Ooh, I think he's gone out of bounds there. No, Lee Spurgeon looked like it. Back to the wing. Tabernar flies. Then was a bit disorientated as to where the ball was going. Russell. Both he and Walters committed. That might be a dangerous kick.
Which way are they going to go with this? I thought the Suns might have been out there. They're probably disadvantaged.
Yeah, that is a disadvantage.
I thought it was them. It was the Suns that stuck the foot in, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was just in the lead up to that.
Okay, Russell kicks it forward.
But again, Luke Russell's been around long enough not to kick that straight to the 7-foot ruckman.
There's a beautifully weighted ball into the middle to open things up. For Clancy for Ibbotson, deep over Pavlich's head, and here he is again, Nat Fife. And suddenly the game has changed.
Well, I can't for the life of me work out why Sard was one-on-one with Nat Fife, because he's going to get outbodied 99 times out of 100 in a one-on-one contest. So he was back covering him, tried to grab a hold, but he just leant on him. That's far too easy. I was surprised he played on. Very happy to kick it around the corner on the left.
Must have been a handover in the lead-up to this, but yeah, absolutely. You think Sard would be the last person you'd want on Fife, not just for size and strength, but you want Sard being more the offensive runner off halfback. So Cameron's back onto Fife now. And they're contested possessions. Fife leads the way with 11. Neil, Pearce, Sutcliffe, all Dockers at the top. And Miller.
Back to 13. It's the Nat Fife show at the moment.
Well, it's the big strategic move of the match, Hutto. It's the one that's changed the game very early on in this third term because they've been able to create one-on-one opportunities for Fife.
And it gives them real motivation to get it in there quickly too, doesn't it? When they know that he's down there, snapping at the heels, ready for more. It might go via Pav this time, but finds himself in the unusual situation of being allowed to go one-on-one with McKenzie because the extra's gone to Fife. But here he is, Fife. He's clearing the path for Tabernar. Hacks the left boot. Barlow in game 100. It probably should have gone on his own. Yep. Instead, went to Fife because we know what a player he is. Sard be a bit worried here, and you can see with the kick, but it's going to bounce beautifully.
Is it deliberate?
Yeah, it is. That is wrong. That
it was off the side of the boot, wasn't it?
It was a kick under the pressure. He had 3 Dockers chasing him, and he's just trying to kick it as far as he can, as quick as he can. I reckon that's very harsh.
Hayden Ballantyne has plenty to consider now.
He's going to have to go back.
He does. Try and draw a few out.
Yeah, they'll go to the other side of the ground. Oh, they're on here.
Might get away from McFarlane. Charlie with the tackle.
They're pushing up the Suns with the extra number.
Dixon. Suddenly, the pressure transferring. Lots of sliding going on there.
Probably lucky not to be a free kick against Spur.
They're going really difficult, really slippery out there. Sard just pokes at McFarlane, full of courage. Mustered up and went back and takes the mark. Back for Ibbotson. And we know his propensity to run. Just deal it around a bit. So it's a long way home for Freo here. Barlow back through the middle to Ibbotson. Just each time they handle it, there is that opportunity for a fumble in the greasy conditions. But they seem quite relaxed about sharing it around at the moment. Go back wide again to Spur. Not a great kick. But, he gets there in time to take the mark. More challenging one here for Balto. Against crunched by Charlie.
That wasn't very subtle, Charlie Dixon. He's done a couple of things today where he's tried to be physical, he's tried to be aggressive. I reckon Ballantyne's lucky he's still got his head sitting on his shoulders.
Oh, that's right. You don't mind the grey area, and certainly he's making a presence out there. That was just getting close to dark grey.
Well, he can't afford to get himself suspended for a couple of weeks.
Big fly Malcheski was good to put himself in the line of fire. Neil wasn't expecting that. Could have been either holding the ball or in the back. It was neither. And the ball is out of bounds.
And no doubt Charlie Dixon feels that he owes his team after the club imposed suspension, and he wants to make a presence with his physicality out on the ground. He's certainly doing that, but just got to keep control of his emotions. Very important player.
Sandilands. The scoreboard in a delicate position for the Suns. The lead is 13. Can they hit back here? Mzungu. Barlow well wrapped up again by Harbrow. Very attentive.
Got his foot caught up in all of that. Harbrow a little bit proppy getting out. Just him
limp away.
Limping away, yeah. Just the right foot got caught in there.
Bit hobbled. Lynch took the initiative there. Charged through. Then Big Charlie. Back to Hallahan. Wasn't a great moment for the ball just to slide out of his hands. No free kick. Walters gave and got it back, and then kicks to the wing. Great foresight just to get forward there, Leslie, and couldn't complete the job. And it's over.
She just saw the runner go out to Charlie Dixon. Might just be a little bit of coaching from Rodney Eade.
Settle down, focus on the footy.
Sandilands tried to parry it down. Instead it was Riscatelli that took it. Rain's still watching Neil. The ball gets to half forward. Oh, Peter Wright again. He handled the situation beautifully for a young man.
Well, just Lemon's pickup was good too.
Yeah. Just some little things from Peter Wright. Really promising future, and he's getting a good test out here and his ruck skills against the Man Mountain in Sandilands. So after those 2 goals to Fremantle, Suns have been able again to steady the ship. Still making life tough. Barlow's ducked into it. Comes out, Neal did his best. It could have been high. Play on Lemons. Walters, Pavlich. So inch by inch. And again, this one-on-one battle between Cameron and Fife. You know he's going to be heading for the boundary line. Cameron, he can't achieve it. And Fife's done him over. He won't be the last that happens to. Fife comes away with it. Gives to Walters. And Walters kicks long to full forward. And almost the mark to Hanneth. Again, I think he was sconed. Crozier went for the unbelievable goal. Didn't quite happen.
Once again, we just saw firsthand how strong Fife is in the contest. Clay Cameron just overran the ball, needed to get the ball over the boundary line. Fife maintains his feet and stays in the contest.
Back to the wing. Sutcliffe pushed off it by Riscatelli. He kicks it quickly with 4 Dockers closing. And again, it's Dixon as the main target, but again, it's out of bounds. McFarlane for company.
He wants to be physical. He gave McFarlane a shove too, thinking you can go and meet the fence. Just needs to be careful, Charlie Dixon.
Sandlands again. Took Miller trying to get onto it. Still within range here. 14 points the margin. Rodney Eade working the phones.
One-on-ones across the ground now.
Mundy goes a couple of times. Fife's come up to... Oh, he got clean bowl. McKenzie will go for as far and as high as he can.
That's his first touch for the day.
That's a massive kick. All sorts of chaos down there. Pearce takes it out. And Fife dirty on himself.
Separate, hold that.
Margin stands at 14. Boston. Barlow. Miller.
And this is a win just to keep the ball in the forward 50 for the Suns. Just scrap away. Inside 50s, 4-5 in favour of Freo. And you're up against it at these clearances, but the more forward 50 clearances you could, or stoppages you can have, you can generate shots at goal and just put the defence under pressure.
Again, it's up for grabs. Harbrow for Miller. He's had a busy little period. He's dismissed there with some good tackling. And they get it safely over the line and out of bounds.
Just need to find a way to squeeze a goal out of this time forward when they're attacking 50 here, the Suns.
There's always danger of a free kick against.
A lot of Freo loose numbers deep, though.
Mzungu.
Oh, that might be high.
And that's how it's been seen.
And that's the one, with the multiple stoppages, you can get those.
But I love that attack on the footy. He just went hard, Boston. He's found a way to get a bit of the ball today. Gets involved. He gets himself involved in the contest a lot.
He had a big opening term, I think, at 9 in the first term.
He's had 11 for the match so far.
It's going to take a pretty big kick from here if the rain comes again. This is the one they desperately need.
Take it back to under 10 points. Boston. Not going to be a goal. Sandlin's trying to spoil, which he did effectively. Not across the line. Now it is. So job done for Freo. They're zoned quickly here. The Suns are in position in a flash. So they've given the short kick in. Nothing is guaranteed today.
No, and you're always happy to concede that short one. In the pocket, just got limited options now. It's this chip across or long down the line. You're really only options when the zone's in place.
Mundy's next, Cab. Sandlands is pushing.
Well, somehow they've got the extra here.
Pav wants it even longer. That's where he heads. Can he get it goal side, Pavlich? He can't. So good wrestling work back there, and the support arrived just at the right time with Lynch. So Lynch and Shade doing a good combination there on Pav, who looks a little bit frustrated. Just lets everyone know about it. Flex of the muscles as he heads back inside the 50. His down there with Nat Fyfe, so if they get it in there, all the guns will be ready to fire, and they might just get it in there now. Hill's a long kick. Took it into the pocket. Oh, Pav came at it at the back. Oh, high tackle by Fyfe. And Malcheski putting himself in the line of fire did well.
Just his 8th disposal, Malcheski.
Oh, it would have been.
There's a smother off the chin.
Yeah, Ballantyne putting his body on the line and his head on the line. Here's Walters to scoop it up to Hill. Knows he has to rush the kick, but he's a highly talented player. He's overscrewed it. He's gone down. Interested where that smother came from Hayden Ballantyne.
And Malcheski asked the same thing.
Absolutely.
He's called the play on. He takes one step to kick it.
That's a big foul.
Ballantyne's there.
Locked into the back pocket. Saad bangs it up to the wing. Lynch will fly over the top of Sandlands. Matera finds a crafty way to gain 35. Now Mazungo leads the race. And it's over. Well played with the Suns.
Yeah, just grab that extra 50 metres. Again, forward half stoppage, trying to edge the ball down into that forward 50 and just hold it in there.
Nichols takes front position. Hanneth not to be denied. Gets hands to it a couple of times. Back to the wing, but Harbrow there. Just land inside the field of play. Good result.
And another good result. Just see Nick Subin just up out of the dugout, just limbering up a bit.
Just check in with Hawley downstairs. Much to report from down there, Baz?
Oh, look, it's going to be interesting to see when he comes on and who he replaces. Obviously, they've got a pretty tall outfit, Fremantle, so it'll be interesting to see who he comes on for.
Nichols, Lemons, they batter it around a bit. Hill, hopeful more than anything. Pavlich came late, was an interference, no play on the call. Ballantyne's recovered. Lonigan, the ball's got out the back there.
And Saad's in a bad way, buckled over there. He just was cannon into, I think it was Pavlich from behind, so he was left open.
I reckon he's had the wind taken out of him.
And that is his solid knock.
Ribs.
Let's hope it's not another serious injury.
Well, the board have already commissioned an independent review into the injuries over the course of this season. That will be completed by the end of the season.
As Saad hobbles off the ground, Nichols can go short. He does to Rains. Not sure if that's progressed things too much.
2 or 3 loose players for the Dockers deep in the corridor, so he's got to keep it away from that. That's a good kick, actually. He at least gave Lynch a run and jump at the footy and kept it away from where all the loose Dockers players were.
Yeah, down to you, Baz.
And just a quick one, the sub, as you see, Saad has come off the ground from that heavy knock from Matthew Pavlich, but the sub has been made from Fremantle. Tapman has come off. A tall for a small. Subin's come on.
He looks like he's copped it in the hip, Saad, from that bump from Pavlich.
They can be extremely painful and hang around for a good month.
Hallahan. We have a throw in.
Again, I don't mind this. Repeat stoppages. Anything can happen. Big numbers back. They've got an extra 1 in there, Freo, around the contest.
Nichols. Hill fought with danger again. But Crozier couldn't dispose of it. Riscatelli maybe shows them how to fall forward. Gets the bounce he was after. And they're back in the hunt.
That's a classy snap. That's a classy snap.
Non-preferred. Michael Riscatelli, many people have sung his praises when the club's been under pressure here to see. Now, Freo have the +1 in tight. Michael Riscatelli on the backside, just as a sweeper, and gets involved. And just that is a really good hit around the body. Flushed that one, got it through. And again, it's on the back of repeat forward 50 stoppages. They're really focused on holding the ball in, and it's working.
You just see the body language of the Suns players. They've got themselves in the contest. They feel like they're right in this.
Well, scoreboard says they are. Subin's into the play Monday. And just wondered how long it would be before Fyfe was taken out of the forward line. He's back in the midfield now. Hill left it behind. And the door was wide open for Harbrow to work in with Hallahan. Nothing for him long. So just waiting game again. Harbrow, that wasn't the wisest of kicks. There's nothing for him.
He had a short target inside.
It's worked out all right somehow. Hallahan. Gains another 55 metres.
I mean, what Howbrow's done is he's kicked it exactly where Hallahan said, oh, I haven't got an option there, so I better come back inside. Gives it to Howbrow, kicks it straight where Hallahan was trying to avoid kicking it to, which is where all the Fremantle numbers were.
And all they've got the stoppage on the back of Shawnee Lemons coming back with the fly of the ball, making a contest, just nullifying that contest so it wasn't an easy rebound.
Sandlands to Fife. To the wing, clever tap, Pavlich. To the advantage now of Walters. Nothing ahead for him, and he knows it. He's under duress anyway.
Should have been the ball.
Could well have been.
I'm not sure how he got rid of it.
No.
Hanneth enters the fray and looks to hold it up now.
Well, it was a really good tackle. Probably deserved to be rewarded.
And again, we could have the Sandlands Fife show here. No, he misses Fife that time.
What's interesting, Ho, because we've seen Fife start this third term forward. Went there, kicked a couple of goals, got them some breathing space. But apart from that Fife, there aren't too many Dockers that look capable of lifting their side over the line.
Again, they've got a spare number back, the Suns. So if they do get it in there in a rush, it's not going to be easy.
They'd love to see a Stephen Hill, a Daniel Pearce, one of these other players can run, really get on the end of a bit and maybe do some damage.
Yeah, there's certainly no outside run.
Zungu darts. Happy to kick to the uneven numbers. The chaos ball.
Touched off the boot. Touched off the boot.
Tackling. Now that's. Has he had prior opportunity?
He convinced them that he didn't hear the call.
Didn't hear it. Every person in the stadium heard it, Hutto.
The only effort he made was to hold on to that ball when he got tackled too.
Bit of a standoff. Clever tap from Sandlands. Doesn't come to fruition though as far as the forward attack was concerned. Again, the delicate tap from Hill set up Fife. Walters, will he lead? He does. Was it realistic? It was. A bit of a fumble. A paddle back. Here's Walters again. He's in everything. Young Pearce feels the heat. Mzungu tried to take them on. Didn't succeed. Kolajasny steals it away. And then to Russell. Back to the wing. It was a good kick, really, under the circumstances. Taking no chances and getting it out of bounds.
And Peter Wright happy to get the ball over the line. That wave of defensive pressure coming through for the Suns again typified their style today. They've had massive numbers at the ball, and the ball carrier hasn't been clean, but it's been effective.
Sandlands again was hoping for Fife. Pearce's kick shut down by Riscatelli to half forward, and they're hungry for more, the Suns. Sheridan down the line. Over Fife's head, Shade. Manhandled, surely. No free kick. Crozier. Umpire's giving Fife a fair bit of leeway on that one, I reckon. Ball up. So 5-10-40 Fremantle. 5-2-32 the Suns. Maybe not enough for a free.
You could argue we've got plenty of ball.
Sandlands pats it away. Pearce had a no kick. Hallahan didn't gain any ground. Hallahan goes again, though. He felt the wrath of Sandilands.
An oak tree fell on him.
Screwed back, Spur, and Shade this time stands his ground and makes sure he takes the mark. Takes the doubt out of it. Riscatelli gets in his ear, just says.
McKenzie wants it back in the corridor.
Yeah, Riscatelli wants him to go long down the line.
No Riscatelli, wasn't it really? Just straight down, thump back to Fife. Kept everyone guessing. Eventually the handball. Sheridan accelerating, darting, kicking. Pavlich, he's got Walters ready for action. Pavlich, oh, he's about to take the mark. Spoiled by his own teammate. And they sweep through with Leslie. Comes up full of hope at half-back. Kolajasny to Shade. And they stream through the middle. Another give and they're out. Hallahan held without it.
Yeah, they got away with that one. Massive hands. Great run again, though. That was their quickest movement off half-back they've had today.
And yet you were worried with every hand pass.
Absolutely.
They were going to turn it over. Credit to them. They continue to take it on. They've stuck to the task. They've kept themselves in the contest.
They really have. Margin is 8.
Charlie Dixon to push right across here for the bailout kick long if needed.
Harborough finds Rice.
Dixon has to push up to Sandlands, make it a 2-on-1, which he's getting over there now. Here he comes.
7th disposal. No, short. That's not ideal. Fife's had a big quarter. He's now up to 23 disposals.
Yeah, if you miss that kick, you've got to miss it boundary side as well, not off the side of the boot, back into the corridor to the opposition.
To Pearce, to Spur. 2 minutes 29.
They might get out this time. Mazungu's got the far side and the overlap.
Pearce handballs to Daniel Pearce. Had Hanneth on offer, but goes longer. And Pav had a bit of a look at Subin. Subin had a look at Pav, and then it went far enough for the skipper to mark it.
Another long kick that's ended up in a chest mark in the attacking 50 for Freo. Disappointing for Gold Coast. They've been so good so often, but if they slacken at all, Freo will open them up with a couple of quick goals.
I think the magnet board might have got a whack in the coach's box then.
Still without a goal, Matthew Pavlich. 12 disposals. Marking starting to come for him. His fifth mark. His fourth mark, I should say. From inside 50, close to the man on the mark. It starts left. And that's where it stays. The other one went right. So
normally such a beautiful kick.
16 shots to 7. Yet the difference is only 9 points. 35 inside 50s to 18, so plus 17 for the Dockers, but it hasn't been showing up on the scoreboard.
McKenzie over McFarlane's head. Rounded up here by Ibbotson. The bounce handball into Mundy. They've worked their way through with great expertise. McFarlane saw Pav again. It doesn't get that far. Shade.
Just didn't quite get off his mark quick enough to see the switch from the far side. Be pretty risky for the big man to go that way, though.
Malcheski.
They're getting a little tired, the Suns. Not many options. A lot of them just peeling sideways for that short lateral kick.
Yeah, so, and that's where the option. This is the role of the key forward now. For a Dixon or a Lynch to make sure they're down the line tight.
Got a breather coming up in 50 seconds.
Even more important. Hit the clear open target or bomb it long down the line, 5 metres from the boundary line.
Cameron does the latter, right? Gets in amongst it, makes sure it gets out.
And that's a perfect result. That's exactly what you wanted. Got the ball 50 metres up the line and a stoppage.
Charlie Dixon comes off the ground looking pretty tired as well. Boundary umpire taking a long time, ready to hurl that back into play. It falls a bit short. Hanneth, Mundy parried it away. Boston goes straight for the line. How do they read that one?
No, I think after the last one, I think they'll let him off. But another good kick for touch, really. Shawnee Lemon's just getting that cheekbone assessed.
Nichols, Hanneth. Neil couldn't work his way through. Been restricted to 15 disposals. Here's Shade. Gathered it up. Oh, only just call out a handball. McKenzie, did he got one high? Crowd thought so. Certainly the pressure just wound up here. Neil, clever kick. Walters, he'll mark this with 10 seconds to go. Got one choice, and that's to go long to Sandilands. He's taken way too long to make that call. Into the middle for Pearce. Clock ticks down, and the siren's going to sound here. And Big Sandy will never know whether he was going to be able to mark that and bang it through for a goal. But another outstanding quarter of football as far as the Gold Coast Suns is concerned. They really toiled hard. Fremantle kicked 2-4. The Suns kicked 2-1. They're still within touch. They're 9 points away from the most unlikely win of the season.
From the Fremantle Dockers. That hasn't been allowed to happen today, so that's where they've got the victories. See just Ross Lyon going through some instructions with Sheridan before he goes up the coach's box.
He doesn't look overly pleased the way things are going.
I wouldn't have thought he would be.
Ball thrown up, and Nichols got the tap down to this inspirational leader, Riscatelli's. Carried a big load for the Suns this year. And kicked a huge goal in that term. Full of voice out there. Harbrow's raced back into defence. And the ball's going to go in his direction in a moment. Here it is, a bit of sharp. No, well done, McKenzie. Knew them time to go on Pavlich. Sends them almost all the way to half forward. Pearce, Sutcliffe goes once and a second time. Off the ground this time. Crozier, Lonergan takes him out and then goes back onto the ball and shepherds it over the line. Know what he had in mind there, and he was able to execute it nicely.
That was good work from Sutcliffe. He's been pretty good today, in particular in that second term, but he kept the ball in front and edged it back 50 metres up the ground.
Well, bit of a fight amongst themselves there, McFarlane and Fife, and while they were uncertain, Hallahan certainly wasn't. Kicks to half forward to Lynch.
One-on-one, He got right on Ibbotson.
Now the size difference enormous. Can he hang on to the mark here?
Wasn't a great kick. He actually led. He wanted the ball out in front.
He fights on here, battling hard. Peter Wright. Critical moment in the game coming up. Ibbotson tackled but just got it away to Mzungu. He carefully pokes the kick. Oh, Lynch, if it could have been cleaner, who knows what might have happened. Fife assessing, unsure, didn't do any favours for Subin. They better not hook it in. He's in trouble here, Subin.
He dived on that. He raked it in and he's gone. Good decision.
It was almost a handover from Fife as well.
They're not playing particularly well, the Dockers. There's an opportunity here for Gold Coast. It's just whether they can be smart enough and clean enough, as you said, Hutto, when they get the opportunities with the ball.
Well, he hasn't got the journey, Rains. He won't kick this distance.
And he knows it, so he sets it up high. Sandlands, a few pins went down there.
A little bit too close to goal, though. A little bit too easy to spoil that one. Just punched through by Sandlands with almost an air of nonchalance.
Gazza a bit nervous. What might be here?
Might be one of their great wins. To be out on their feet. Their sub was put in play very early in the game.
Sutcliffe had Hanneth and Sandlands in mind. What about the conditions, Baz, in this last quarter? It seems to have cleared a fair bit.
Yeah, it has cleared. It's still very slippery, though, as you can tell by the players handling the ball. It is still very slippery, and that won't change, unfortunately.
Danny Stanley with the knee brace on. Doesn't look good.
Well, hooked back into play. Subin.
It's out the full. Probably smothered, though, off the kick.
No.
He's playing the out in the full.
Thought it was as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He pushed Charlie Dixon up into the ruck or to go with Sandilands.
Saad. Dixon comes to present. Goes over his head. Down the line. Sandlands and Mzungu collaborate to get that over again.
They're carefully constructed moves for him. I mean, he weighted that so it was right next to the boundary line. So when they go long down the line, they want to keep it as close to the boundary line as they can. So if someone doesn't take the mark, it gets punched straight over and they can set up for a stoppage.
Dixon.
Again, the third up from Dixon.
Great give, Mzungu. Open things up completely. Fife ran into that space. Uses Hill to centre half forward. The extra is Harbrow. Hits the ground, though. Pavlich hopelessly outnumbered in the end. Big tackle laid was pretty good, but again, the numbers prevailing. And it's coming Lonigan's way.
He surprised me, Harbrow. I mean, it's okay to be loose, but his go isn't flying over the top and trying to kill the ball. He didn't really have an impact on it.
Lemons is running into space by himself. Just can't isolate him at the moment.
Boston going short. Russell inching it forward.
This is much better.
Yep. Matera.
He's got to hit that target, though, and he does.
Sean Lemons.
Now, again, with Sandlands in the position, there's no point going to the top of the goal square. You either got to pull it or long down the line again.
Three-quarter kick, and Mundy takes the mark.
Well, the kick in principle's good, but no one else knew about it. You've probably got to tell your forwards you're going to pull that kick.
Aims up that one straight down the line. Hill decides, yep, I'll go. On to the left, just as he's about to get caught. In fact, it did have an effect on the kick. And Shades there to round it up.
Oh, that's a strange handle.
It is. Yeah, Walters can put some pressure on, but McKenzie good enough. Colin Jasny. And now Harbrow.
Yeah, he's gone the torp instead of the chip over the top.
Traditionally, the forwards don't like that.
No, but opportunity.
Boston.
Oh, hello.
Still up there for Charlie.
It's a good result for Gold Coast.
Another forward 50 stoppage.
They've got a sniff. That's what's driving them now. They know they're a chance of pulling off an incredible upset.
Ball on its way back into play. Lynch took front position. Oh, risk a tally. And it's going over the line and out of bounds. So they've had 21 inside 50s, the Gold Coast, in this game. The record for a win. Oh, here's Ross going off his chops.
He knows they're not playing well. He just wants to get the 4 points right about now. Yep. No injuries and 4 points.
Record low for a win in inside 50s is held by Freo, just 33. Back in 2013.
They got a long way to go to get 33, Hutto.
Yeah.
Again, look at the pressure again. It's building. Another forward 50 stoppage. They're just not being rebounded against. Well led by Lonigan. It's been another one of the impressive youngsters. Probably settled down across half back over the last month of footy as well.
Margin 8. And again, it's the Stars on hand. Fife took it from Mundy for Ballantyne. Back to the wing. They scamper again with that extra body. Do Fremantle have to consider trying to even the numbers up when they come forward, or because they're leading by 8, they're happy to status quo to remain?
It's an interesting one. I mean, they're getting a lot of numbers back as well when there's a stoppage forward, but then it's that fact that they haven't been able to carry the ball cleanly. They've just had to quickly kick because of Gold Coast pressure.
Nichols did well. Matera, they creep inside 50. Boston, a chance, darting around. Lemons. Lands the bomb. It's just dropped on Fremantle, and it's a 2-point ball game at Metricon. Do they start to believe now?
Oh, absolutely they believe. I think everyone in the stadium and watching is thinking that the Suns are going to fall over, but they continually answer on the back of pressure, and that is a really good snap around the corner. Sean Lemons, still only a very young player, who played his best football across half-back, but that's outstanding snap under the pump. They're up and about.
Shawnee Lemons, he loves the look of that.
Well, they've been better in this quarter. They've been outplayed for a majority outside the intensity of the game, but 4 inside 50s to 2 in favour of the Suns, and disposals, they're up for the first time in the game in this particular quarter.
Now, the Dockers have been able to hit back quickly every time Gold Coast have kicked a goal, so they've got to try and hold fast, do the same thing, lock the ball forward when they get the opportunity, and then make the most of a half chance that comes along like Lemons did.
And again, there's no +1 at either end of the ground. There's one-on-ones all across the ground.
They haven't been in front since midway through the second term. Hanneth pokes it. Sheridan to handle it smartly. And it's over to Nat Fife. He just assessed. He didn't go for home, hoping that Pavlich would be there. It's got through to Ballantyne. That's where it ends. Barlow enters it. Back to Ballantyne around the corner. And it's the wrong side of the post.
She pulled it back too far. That was difficult to do from there.
Fife good out of that stoppage again. I thought he might have given away a free kick for holding the arm with one of the Suns midfielders, but again, he just ran into space.
Cameron in the back pocket.
Very tough under pressure for a young defence to get the ball out.
Gold Coast have kicked the last 2 goals in this game. And Boston again.
He wants touch.
He comes charging out. Gains 45 metres. Was hoping Dixon could get in front of McFarlane. The old wily veteran, though, turned himself into a bit of trouble. Neal was on hand. A welcome sight down the line. Hanneth in front. Lemons jumps up over the top. They know no bounds at the moment, this young Gold Coast side.
Good pressure again from Andrew Rains. I think he's basically came down here as an assistant coach on the rookie list, but has been important.
They're sticking to the game plan. Boston didn't try to do anything silly. He kicked it long and low up the line and then put the onus back on Charlie Dixon to put pressure on, which he did well on McFarlane. And then Rains came in to make sure Neal couldn't take it away.
Russell to half forward. Ibbotson captured it when he needed to. Sheridan again out of defence. Plums for Pavlich, who takes it, but where to next? Fife is in the sights. No, he trusts Walter's marking ability, and this time he can't hang on to it. Frustration showing there for Fremantle.
And the other thing is the Dockers will get a little nervous. The longer Gold Coast can sit within a kick of them, they'll get a little nervous. They'll start to have some doubts.
Vacant goal square being filled now. As you can see, Walters at the bottom of the screen, heading back to the square.
Now Cameron is still with Fife in this stoppage. Now Cameron's a third tall defender and a youngster, dangerous in this situation. Fife
doesn't get to Fife yet.
So Trent McKenzie drops off there. You like to see that. They need to get a spare defender back, but now he's got to come up and pick up Pavlich. It doesn't allow him to go all the way back.
Crozier. Shade, well done. And the tension grows here, the longer it goes.
And again, I think there'll be a handover from Cameron on Fife. And so there has been. So Miller goes to Fife in the stoppage situation.
Hanneth goes forward. Luke Russell's picked him up, giving away a massive height advantage.
Miller back to the wing, right. Almost snared it, not quite. Rains.
That's as deliberate as you could ever want.
But
oh, he's got a push in the head there.
he's done a good job defying Lachie Neale, his normal amount of space. 18 disposals for Lachie Neale. Frustrating day for Ross Lyon. Ball on its way again. Nichols, Sandilands, Fife's on the move. Couldn't take it with him. Miller goes back and collects, gives it, and now Hallahan. No call either way. Did Neale duck that time?
He ducked and he dived, so he's got a
push, and now he's gone.
Yeah, I think the dive on the ground was the thing that got him in a bit of strife.
He's battled gamely too, Hallahan, throughout the day.
Well, he has. He just fumbled on that occasion, but he's worked very hard. Good, solid midfielder.
It's Cameron who decides to go, committed to moving. Would have had his misgivings as he saw that one being fumbled. But back in safe hands now. Lynch with a lot of space and time to work out the next step. It's Harbrow.
Probably got to go back with a quick switch. Mackenzie's on, so if you go back the other way quickly, no, they don't.
Oh, that's horrendous.
That's very lucky. Now Mackenzie's 30 metres by himself on the other side, just coming back towards the square. That was the switch. That was the play.
And players like Harbrow are the ones that they expect to keep their cool. He's one of the experienced players out there. He's got to make better decisions than that.
From the throw, Sandilands to Fife. Russell using his body to great effect. Kolajasny putting a trick on or two.
Chase that, fellas.
Yeah, the Harbrow can. He can scoot across the turf and play his own footy and earn a free.
Well done, Harbrow. Well, that was an even foot race when he kicked it, Kolajasny.
It was. Pav was on the treadmill there for a little while and was forced to give away the free kick.
He's lucky he had Harbrow in that pack chasing that actually had the acceleration.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was a conscious decision, was it? I don't think he identified his teammates that well.
Matera down the line. Lynch. Lemons. Umpire intervenes.
Halfway through the last quarter with Freo up is Tom Lynch going. Big knee in the back. I think it might have been Ibbotson.
Yep.
That's what you want your big forwards presenting strongly at the ball.
The fumble for Freo. Mundy out to Barlow. Desperate stakes have been matched though by the Suns. Sutcliffe. No space at all.
Plenty of pressure building on both teams, realistically. The Suns are long outsiders for this game, but they're in it. They can't throw it from here. They're well and truly in this contest.
A loose at each end now. Yeah, Ibbotson loose for the Dockers.
Oh, Boston pleads his case there.
Well, there's Harbour out the other end.
And we're down to 10 minutes 55. Peter Wright tries to combat Sandilands. Alas, there wasn't much he could do with a short throw-in.
Been short all day, the throw-ins. Ross Lyon barking instructions down the phone. Rocket looks nervous.
Would be one of his most famous wins if they could do it from here. Rodney Eade. Fife, Barlow. A free kick either way. And it's another 30 metres gain for Freo.
Well, we saw the immediate impact Fife had when he went forward in the third quarter. It would take a lot of courage for Ross Lyon to throw him forward now because he's the one dominant midfielder out there that looks like he's going to get a hold of every clearance.
Still got that spare behind the ball, Jared Harbrow. So it's not going to be easy to score clearly going inside the 50. Had a couple of cracks at it. There's a fumble from Hill. He's on his wrong side. Kicks off the right boot. And there is Harbrow. Got caught in the crush. Comes off hands, though. Through for another behind. 4 points the difference. Jared Harbrow.
Not many players moving as options. Everyone's worn out.
To himself then. And as close as he can to the line. There's a misfire of a kick. Difficult job, risk a tally. Did it manfully. And look at Saad. Knows only one way. They're on the charts through the middle. Rains fashions a kick. Again, asking a lot of his teammates. Young Peter Wright. Can he pick it up and tuck it under his arm? Not yet. Mundy hassling within an inch of his life, pushes, shunts him over the line, and the ball goes over and out.
Just needed the ball to sit up, Peter Wright, didn't he? But in the end, again, not a bad result. I think both teams would take that.
And the courage of Saad to have a crack off half back. He just ran, took the game on. Didn't have too many options, but put it out in front of Wright.
Under 10 minutes remaining, and they're within a kick. Fife to Hill, back to the wing. Crozier, Pavlich trying desperately to keep it in. And he did it with great effect that time. Hanneth
used his strength well, Pav.
It was brute stuff, wasn't it, through? But young Shea kept at it. He's kicked it on the full.
Just wonder whether the midfield of the Suns just starting to drop off. Fife starting to find a little bit of space. Just look like there's a bit of a gap starting to appear. Fife's at 5 for this quarter. Hill 4.
Crozier bombs away. Hanneth. Valentine. Again, no space at all. No latitude for Freo's small man. And Boston more than happy to see it over and out.
And Boston's been handy with 4 for this quarter as well, with Harbrow 5 for the Suns.
Fremantle 43. Gold Coast 39. Sandilands with Lynch to combat this time. Rains spinning.
And Freo have had the last 4 inside 50s. So just under the pump again, the Suns. Holding off though.
Boston couldn't get an escape. And here's Fife again. Charging through. Kicking from outside 50. They bunch up, and again, as a team, they get it through for a behind. And it's 5 points the difference.
Well, dare I say it, he's dragging his team over the line again, that Fife. He's the one.
He just pushed off Riscatelli in that stoppage.
He doesn't care if he gets tackled, Lynchy. He'll back himself to break it, won't he?
Well, that's typical of the midfield of Fremantle. They break tackles. They're big, strong men, 6'3", 6'2", 6'4".
Kolodjasny, the play on call, and smothered by Walters. And those little things can turn into big things.
Yeah, they need to get around each other, all those Suns players, and just get their heads right. Don't worry if they make a mistake. Gee each other up.
Sandilands, Nichols off balance. McKenzie, it's touched. It's frantic. It's Ibbotson. It's Hill. The knees pumping. A handball. Pearce. Be capable on a dry day. Doesn't try it. High ball. Pavlich almost. Here's Hayden Ballantyne.
He's pulled that again.
He has. It's out in the full.
Hit the behind post.
But again, just weight of numbers. He's just starting to really add pressure to the Suns. That's the last 6 inside 50s Fremantle's way.
They've kicked just 3 behinds in this quarter, though. The Suns have kicked 1 goal, 1. There's still a real shot. They're only 5 points in arrears. This mighty Fremantle team having to work so hard to find a goal in the last quarter. Here we go again. Pavlich flies against 4 Suns. Saad at the back. It's like a broken record. Out it comes again from Kolodjasny.
That last long kick out, no big forward or ruckman actually got to the contest. They've got to make sure if they're going to kick it long, it goes to Lynch or Nichols or Dixon when he's on the ground.
Really like to see him just once in a while try and switch, change direction, take the game on. They had some numbers out the other side. They've stuck to their plan. They've still got to take the odd risk to try and win the game.
Riscatelli, you heard the call. Mzungu may not have. It's in, and now it's out. I guess while it's under a goal, they might figure that they just need that one chance. That might be all it takes.
They just haven't looked like getting it out of their defensive zone, though. At least now they get an opportunity with the stoppage on the wing to perhaps go into attack here.
Well, that tactic has worked. Scrap 50 metres up the line, cause a stoppage and go again.
Boston. Shea.
So that's, they've gained probably another 20, 30 metres along the line. Need to get the ball inside 50 again. Repeat stoppages, as we've seen at the other end with Freo. Freo haven't been able to convert in this term.
Been a hard slog. Lots of players getting the legs massaged, just trying to find that little bit of run that they need to get over the line.
Tell you what, there's a lot of other teams around the competition watching and willing on the Suns here against Fremantle, who looked at absolute dominant team in the competition until last week. Right now they're under real stress, and it's growing some more. Miller had an opportunity. The tackling was great. Socket by Miller again. He's gone down. Hard material. No call. It comes up. It goes down. Miller's still in the frame. Rains an unlikely hero to fall forward right on the line. Desperation. McFarlane, Mzungu. Every kick, every handball so important. Disney. That big left foot towards full forward. Here they come again. Lynch tried. Lemons!
He kicked a great one earlier.
Yep.
Again, pressure is building. Well, this is a great contest. Low scoring affair, but fantastic contest.
Clancy Pearce out to the wing, gives it everything. Riscatelli, five, they all fall down. Malcheski, you know which side he's going to turn to.
Well,
he's left. It was clever. Riscatelli from 70, winds up, goes for broke. It wasn't a great kick.
No, he was never going to make the distance. You had Sandlin's back, you had Ibbotson back. He had to just look for a short target, and there were a couple there.
There's a big surge of adrenaline, just narrowed the focus, and he was going for home from 65.
Spur back to the goal square. Ibbotson.
That's still a contest.
Yeah, trusts the one-on-one, goes for Mzungu. Again, they come crashing down.
He needs to go back.
Oh, fumble. He took his eyes off it, wondering what he was going to do with the ball before he got it.
Yeah.
The other thing to remember for Freo is if they lose, they'll lose top spot.
Yeah.
Because their percentage isn't anywhere near as good as that of Sydney's.
Yeah.
So if Sydney win, they would take top spot away from the Dockers, who have looked invincible at the top of the table.
It's a big, important throw, and everyone going up for the ruck. Riscatelli's kick smothered. Somehow Mzungu hacks it forward. Hannah the next to go. Denied though. Saad again, full of adrenaline, charging across to Malcheski. A clean kick, critical for the Suns. He's prepared to go wide to Cameron.
That's a really poor kick from Nick Malcheski. Again, we spoke about Harbrow earlier. The experienced players have got to make good decisions. They've got to hit targets. They're the ones that will help get these young fellows over the line. But if he's making mistakes, it's going to make life really tough. That was a kick under no pressure.
Boundary throw in. Falls well short. Everyone tired after a long, tough slog. That could have been high. The umpire said no. It was duck from Russell. And again, it's going to be a ball up. Just over 5 minutes remaining.
It's surprising that actually the ruckmen haven't adapted to the short throw-ins. It's been consistent all day. It's been a short throw. They've been caught short many times.
Sandlin's down to guess who. Couldn't get a clean clearance though.
He times it so well, Nat Five. He gets there just as the ball's being tapped down to him.
Fluky ball up for grabs. Hurried kick line again. Matera takes it, jolted up to the mark. Nearly 50, nearly 50, not paid.
I reckon that's a fair trade-off, because I reckon the kick went 8 metres.
A lot of tired Suns behind the footy. Haven't got many numbers forward.
Tough ask out there for Wright at half forward, but Lynch's timing was perfect. He comes on to lend a considerable hand, and he does it on his own. Sockers them inside again. Time to get nervous for Fremantle. Dixon and McFarlane. Charlie's going to lay a big tackle. Not rewarded, and it's close to the line.
Scrap their way up. This could possibly be the lowest winning score since 2011, where Geelong won with 48 points. Freo is sitting on 44 at the moment.
And what a noise, what a racket they're making here now. Mundy charging through. Boston to full forward. Dixon in the middle of the sandwich. Close to the line, not out yet. Spur. Matera looking for a free. No dice.
Good contest from Charlie Dixon. Just again, spilled over so you don't get an easy chest mark back. I think you're going to need more than 48 points to win this still, Jace.
There's another goal or two.
4 minutes and 15 seconds. Sheridan under there. Where's the ball? He's hoping it's not stuck. It's a ball up.
And this is where the players have got to be really careful not to give away free kicks.
Don't want a soft goal against.
They're so close to it here, the Suns. They can almost feel it. The quick kick away from Ibbotson. It's back over the line again, but still inside their forward 50.
So virtually everyone forward of the centre square except for one deep Suns player, which is Clay Cameron.
Boundary throw in on the 50. Nichols. Quick kick away though. Saad tries to defy Crozier and then win the ball back. But he duck into that. It's a ball up.
So they've got the defensive sweeper back off this contest now. It's Nick Malcheski. And Pearce is playing out of the goal square.
Yeah, they've held a forward really deep now, this setup, and that's interesting.
Fife was clever to Sheridan. to Pavlich.
So Malcheski's got to get back quickly. He's the loose Malcheski. He's got to make sure he cuts off any leads or any space. Are they going to try and hold possession?
Well, can they do it for 3 minutes 27?
He thought about it.
Yeah, Fife didn't push forward. Saad tries to spin his way out of there. Great tackling from Pearce. The pressure grows now on the Gold Coast defence to hold firm here.
Malcheski was involved in that aerial contest. Just got to be careful not to allow the ball over the back. Critical to keep the ball in front.
This is where the Suns have found it hard, though, to exit their defensive 50.
Fife has drifted forward. Neal's in the frame.
And again, can't have free kicks. You've got to be very, very careful if you're a Suns player. Around the stoppage right now, no silly free kicks. No high contact, no falling in the back, no holding on.
Bit of pushing and shoving going on too between Rains and Fife at that throw-in. A few more precious seconds tick away. Down to the last 3 minutes here.
So the Suns have got the extra one, Malcheski at the top of the goal square, and they've got one extra in the contest.
Sandilands.
So the Dockers supporters running with a Freo call around the ground.
Barlow in game number 100.
He's missed it.
Well, that's good for the Suns.
Yep.
Especially with an experienced distributor in Malcheski with the ball.
He was going to go to Nichols, but revised that decision short to Harbrow. So it's the long way home, but there is time. If the skills are good enough, Cameron up to mark the spoil, the discipline thing from Spur, gets it over and out, and it's 2:38 now on the clock.
Still plenty of time. They still need to scrap it for the Suns, but you just fear a clear clearance from the Dockers, one of their big game players, just getting out into space.
Fife gains 15. Mzungu comes to meet it. Takes it straight back over.
And now you get to the last couple of minutes of the game, Lynchy, and you're trying to kick a goal to win it. This is when I don't think the Suns need to have a loose behind play. They've got a loose. I'd want one-on-one everywhere and try and take it on, try and win the game now, because they haven't had the quick rebound, which looks capable of kicking a goal from the defensive 50.
Hallahan, as the Gold Coast chant goes up around the ground. It's not a massive crowd, Badge, but they're getting right into it.
Well, they are, and as they should. The Suns have been fantastic today. We spoke about the tackle pressure early, and they're just hung in the game. Fremantle been dominating most areas.
What a tap. Sandilands to Neal, and he hits the post.
It's a fat post.
Makes it a goal the difference. You've got Mundy just sitting deep in defence now. He's pulled himself out of the midfield. He's a kick behind play.
McKenzie down the guts.
The cannon down the middle. Lynch, can he get there and mark? He can't. Bit of pinball action. Ibbotson, a score will probably do it for Fremantle from here.
Well, they're still, Jace, on your point, they've still got their +1 at the top of the goal square, the Suns. They needed to move him up the ground.
You've got to have numbers when the ball's going forward, and the Dockers will outnumber you, and then they'll just hold possession.
Still wasn't sure whether to just chip it. Again, he rolls the dice into the forward line. Pearce can't fashion a kick. They can't let them score here, the Suns. We're down to a minute 39. They've got to try and take it the length of the ground.
Well, that's it.
For a draw.
You've got to take risks. You've got to get possession, and you've got to play on. You've got to make something happen, and players have got to get ahead of the ball.
Yeah, the +1 has to go with the ball.
Can't find a path through yet. Saad, dangerous handball, walking that tightrope. Oh, he ducks into it, Shade, bang, into trouble, and oh, what a disappointing way.
And he didn't realise that he had Cameron Lonergan, I should say, in the pocket. He just had to handball it over the top.
Yeah,
Can I also say, umpire very quick to play holding the ball. Now, when you duck your head, that's your prior opportunity.
Yep.
But as soon as he ducked the head, he virtually called holding the ball.
Yeah, he did. He was red hot, certainly.
And it was a definitive duck, no doubting that. It's a shame that's the way that it's ended.
Yeah, it is a tight call, but Nick Subin has the shot for goal. Any score will do. And he puts it through for a goal. A huge sigh of relief for Fremantle. I'd say it'll be one of the least joyous wins for Ross Lyon.
The Rocket. Can't believe how
he's just thinking
brave his team's
and that's it. And as a coach, what he'd love to see as we see the ducking of the head from Shea, he just wants to see some reward for effort. And unfortunately, they're not going to get the reward that they probably deserve. And good teams, even when they have an off day, they find ways to win, and that's what Freo are.
Freo have put 2 extra back.
Third one going back.
So it has to just be an instant reply, obviously, from the Suns.
9 defenders now.
And the Suns have got to roll their numbers up.
Yeah, everybody.
Might as well go down by 2 or 3 goals.
No, there's no one there. As Walters kicks them inside 50. So Shade takes it out and go. Kolajasny.
Yeah, they've got one more if they go quickly.
Just can't afford to waste these precious seconds. Boston. Lynch with a leap. And what a mark it was from Lynch. Deep to full forward.
I'll go through.
Oh, it has! And they're still in it!
Amazing.
Well,
they have given themselves 22 seconds to try and steal a draw.
They've done it before. They did it at Cairns against Richmond with 52 seconds that they were 2 goals down or 11 points down. On this occasion, with 58 seconds remaining, they were 2 goals down. Now 22 remaining. Fair to say a nice clearance out the front would be good here. That's a great mark from Tom Lynch, and he knew he had to go quick. Bounce truly.
So the opportunity remains. 6 points is the margin. 22 seconds. They've got to go for their life here. Nichols gets the tap down. Nat Fyfe is a significant roadblock. So is Lockie Neal. The kick to half forward for Fremantle. Again, the seconds tick down. Pearce tips it inside. Ballantyne takes the mark.
It all came down to the clearance. It was all about the clearance, and Sandlands was going nowhere except in Nat Fyfe's direction.
Probably a fair bet.
And the siren sounds. A huge effort from the Gold Coast Suns. A committed 4-quarter effort, and they've just fallen short against the top of the ladder Fremantle Dockers. Hayden Ballantyne to go back to shoot for goal. And tidy up the margin here. It's 6 as it stands. It'll finish at 7. A thoroughly unconvincing win by the Fremantle Dockers in difficult conditions. Brave effort from the Suns, but in the end the Dockers get the points and stay on top of the AFL ladder after round 11. 6-17-53 to 7-4-46.
Oh, look, you've got to give credit to that man and to the Dockers to have an ordinary day in ordinary conditions but still find a way to win. It's about getting the 4 points and moving on. They suffered a blow last week. The Tigers got hold of them. But they've come here. It wasn't pretty and nowhere near their best. They know that, but they got the job done.
It was an exciting game. I mean, a low-scoring affair, and there wasn't a lot of silky skills on the outside, but just loved the way that the Suns attacked the game, and Freo, to their credit, hung in there when needed and did what they had to do to get over the line. It might have been on the back of a couple of stars. I mean, Fyfe was outstanding, in particular in that 3rd quarter. Sandland's just, I think he's had close to another record with hit-outs.
Yeah,
so an amazing performance.
71 hit-outs and broke the record for hit-outs to advantage in the last quarter of 9. But down to David Mutney with more.